Hello! So I'm going to talk about change. So last year sometime I went to listen to some music and this happened. Oh, hello there Spotify, new terms and conditions. Please take a few minutes to read and understand. Okay, I will then. We may collect information stored on your mobile device, such as contacts, photos, or media files. Okay. We may also collect information about your location based on, for example, your phone's GPS location or other forms of locating mobile devices, for example, Bluetooth. Right. We may also collect sensor data, e.g. data about the speed of your movements, such as whether you're running, walking, or in transit. Well, that's fine then. You may integrate your Spotify account with third-party applications. If you do, we'll receive similar information related to your interactions with the service. Right, fine, whatever, I'll click OK. What? Since when did this become such a thing, giving away so much of our information to these companies? So yet they want to access your contacts so that they know that you can share with your friends, and your photos can make for the personalised cover art that they do. And your location helps find music that's trending in your area. And the speed of your movement helps them cue music in time to your steps. That is pretty cool, really, as a feature. So there's reasons, there's features, but there's really also a whole lot of information that they now have about us. So when this privacy policy change was made, or when it became more obvious, the internet was aghast. How could Spotify collect all of this information about them? And so Spotify said, oh, we're very sorry, we didn't communicate it properly. And Wired wrote an article that explained why Spotify wanted to access all of these individual things, including this nugget. This is arguably the gross part, but this is also not new or unique. Advertising is a part of staying in business. Hang on a minute there, Wired. Advertising is part of staying in business. What exactly was I paying $9.99 a month for then? They also went on to say, well, it's okay because when they share this data with the advertisers, the data is de-identified. It is not your personal information. However, de-identified is actually meaningless jargon. If we listen to Bruce Schneier, who is a cryptographer, computer security and privacy expert, so we really should listen to him, he says that with more than one data set and the right algorithm, nearly any data set can be de-anonymized very easily. And I don't know if you've been hearing about the Apple versus FBI case recently. This has also brought up many key points about why tech firms can't go storing our personal data unencrypted on their servers willy-nilly. Because if anyone inside the company can access your data, anyone from outside the company, hackers, governments, whether they're your own or other, they can access your data with sufficient technology and time. So does Spotify need to know all of this to provide us with these services? No. No, they don't. So let me explain a little bit more. This is Spotify's setup at the moment. You listen to Spotify on your device. It sends your listening data to its servers via the web. On its servers, using algorithms and other cool stuff, Spotify works out the Discover playlists, the music beats that match your running speed, and all of these other cool personalized features. And it then sends that information back to your device so that you can get the personalized experience. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be that you listen to Spotify on your device. You download the app, the technology that includes the algorithms, onto your device. And then on your device, using the algorithms and your data, the Spotify could work out its playlists, the music to match your running and things like that. So it's your device that's providing you with that personalized experience. So why doesn't Spotify do it in this way? Why do they take all of that extra risk having to store your information on their servers and take responsibility for that? Well, it's because your data is very valuable. More valuable even than the subscription cost. More valuable than any of us actually know yet. And this is why data brokers exist. These are corporations whose business it is to collect and combine data sets. And they work with a huge amount of the advertisers that provide these third-party services. For example, LexisNexis helps uncover the information that commercial organizations, government agencies and non-profits need to get a complete picture of individuals, businesses and assets. Or Axiom, because only Axiom connects people across channels, time and name change at scale by linking our vast repository of offline data to the online environment. These are who the advertisers are dealing with. This is where they get their data and who they share their data with. It's big money business, and the possibilities are endless. So with this kind of information, last year Facebook was granted a patent. Now because they were granted it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will use it, but someone has had this fantastic idea. When an individual applies for a loan, the lender examines the credit ratings of members of the individual social network who are connected to the individual through authorized nodes. If the average credit rating of these members is at least a minimum credit score, the lender continues to process the loan application. Otherwise, the loan application is rejected. This actually means that they will approve loans based on the financial records of your friends. Would that make you think about your friends in a different light? What about somebody unfriending you because they think you're a bit too poor for them? So let's have a closer look at Facebook. We feel generally like we know Facebook's game. Most of us will use it. I use it. They show us adverts and we get to socialize for free. We think that's a fair enough trade-off, right? I don't give Facebook that much information, fairly minimal information. So I tend to get ads for the average 29-year-old woman. I get things about doing the washing. I get things about shampoo and stuff for my hair. Oh, makeup. I also get lots of dresses after dresses. And every now and again they'll throw in a pregnancy test advert because that's what I'm expected to do. But what happens when Facebook gets a bit more information? So last summer, my mum died. And we didn't want all of our friends and family to find out via social network. You don't want anyone finding out from a poorly thought out tweet or a sort of weird Facebook post. So we didn't post anything. We made a decision. We would ring people, speak to them face to face. And then Facebook suggested, after all of those other ads, that I might be interested in this: Goodwill Family Funeral Directors. Surely just a coincidence. So I went and sent a message to my siblings, my brother and my sisters, and asked them, have any of you posted something on Facebook about this? Because we said we wouldn't. Not me, said my baby sister. Might just be a strange coincidence. Nope, too close to be a coincidence. My sister had told her friend via private message. So my sister had used the words mum and died in a Facebook message to her friend Maddie, and then Facebook made the connection that I'm her sister. Figures out I might want a funeral director and sticks that in my feed. It just goes to show how much Facebook knows and how much complexity it can actually grasp about us, despite my not telling it anything at all. I was the one that got shown the ad. We need this to change. We need big change, not little changes to these massive apps that already exist. We need big systemic change that alters all of our technology for the better to work for us. We need ethical design. And so we've come up with an ethical design manifesto for the things that we use every day. The foundation of a product must be decentralized, private, open, interoperable, accessible, secure, and sustainable. This is how we design products that respect human rights. It's a very strong foundation. And the base of this design is particularly unique with products that we use in our everyday things. So I'll explain what we mean by each part of each of these words. So decentralization. This is what we were talking about earlier when I said in theory we could use Spotify with our own data kept on our device and with Spotify having everything on in their space. Spotify has its own central space, but all of our data is decentralized on our own devices. This is also relevant to power. This gives us the power over our own data rather than all of these massive organizations that are very powerful, think Google and Facebook, because they have access to all of our data. They have the power. When something is private, so we can get privacy as a result of decentralization. If your data is only on your device, then it is private to you. Openness. Free and open source means that anyone with sufficient technical knowledge can take the code from some software and copy it and make their own version for free. And this means you can actually trust a product if it's free and open. Because if one version goes in a direction that you don't like, you can just use a different version. Interoperability. Have you ever had that situation where you have a phone and you spent ages entering in all of the contacts, all of your friends, all of their phone numbers individually? And then you got a new phone and you had to enter in all of that information all over again because there was no way of copying it over. It's a really frustrating experience, but using a SIM card to transfer the contacts across makes it much easier. The reason you can do this, because that contact format is interoperable. Accessibility. And this is one of my real pet things. Accessibility is making something available to as many people as possible. It's about diversity. It's about cost, not having enormous costs so you price people out, and catering to a variety of needs that aren't necessarily the same as your own. Security is also key. When your information is safe and you can suffer no harm as a result of using something, then it's secure. This includes your privacy, but it's also about being safe doing things like entering in your bank information. Sustainability. Sustainability means you know it's worth putting your time into something. It's not going to just disappear tomorrow with all your information and all your hard work going down the drain. One of the key elements of sustainability is having a product that has a viable long-term business model that doesn't rely on selling your data. What we actually need to question when we're using something is what is actually the business model behind this? Free services are usually the most questionable thing because you can't run anything for free. So you've got to work out what they are actually doing with that. On top of this really core base, is our next important layer. So once we have satisfied all of these things, we can move on to making a product that is functional, convenient, and reliable. So when something is functional, convenient, and reliable, it actually does the thing it's supposed to do. It does that thing in a way that doesn't get in your way. It's easy, it's to hand. And it does that thing reliably, again and again. This is what most products go for as their base level. Most products want to do this. And making products that are functional, convenient, and reliable, well, that respects your human effort. And then we can layer delight on the top, because that respects human experience. Delightful isn't just fun and fluffy. It's creating a genuinely great experience because it's built upon that strong foundation of respecting your effort and respecting your rights. So this is an example of something that I find delightful when I'm using Basecamp 3. If I look back at my schedule and I haven't got any past events, I get a cute little illustration of a little Basecamp roasting a marshmallow. It's just fun. It doesn't get in the way. It's just there to make you smile. But you can only get away with this if you're already doing everything else right. As Sarah Wachter-Becher wrote in a fabulous article she put yesterday on Medium, we need to quit painting a thin layer of cuteness over fundamentally broken interfaces. So we call this the 3 R's of ethical design. However, many modern products that we use, in fact probably most of them, don't respect our human rights, and they're not decentralized, private, open, interoperable, accessible, secure, or sustainable. They're built on the backs of the humans that use them. They do not respect human rights, they do not respect what we're doing, they take advantage of people. These are often Silicon Valley products, or following that Silicon Valley model. They respect your human experience, they respect your human effort, they understand that you're putting time in, they make it enjoyable to use. But they take advantage of people because they don't give them privacy or security. They don't give them interoperability, they don't make their technology open, and very rarely do they make their products accessible or sustainable. These are the disruptors, as they like to call themselves. They call themselves this because they disrupt a market. They take existing sustainable businesses and they kill them off. They monopolize industries and they dump. We need to disrupt the disruptors. We need to speak up about being used for all of these companies' financial gain. We need to build and create alternatives to make the web and our technology better. Thank you.